Hey friends, this is the Mrs. Wolfie from Our Half Acre Homestead, and today I'm taking 3 older videos and combining them into one. How to make nutritionally infused rice, how to dehydrate chicken, and how to make instant chicken and rice, all in one video. And today I'm making instant rice from basmati rice and vegetable broth. First things first, we're going to take, I have 6 quarts of home canned vegetable broth, 3 quarts, and I think that's going to be the amount I need. As soon as our broth comes up to a boil, we're going to put in our 6 cups of rice. There's our broth at a boil. I'm going to dump in our rice. And then I'm just going to cover this and leave it on low until it cooks. Okay, look at our rice. I really loved when I lifted the lid off, when you saw that steam, the smell. Doesn't look any different, but it smells wonderful. All right, let's go out into the porch and get this on the dehydrator. All right, I'm out on my porch, and I like to put a nice big towel on my freezer because it's humid. Depending on how much water we're dehydrating, this might leak. So I put a towel under it to... This is my jar I put over the center. It's not really fitting because what I have here is fruit leather trays. Make sure it doesn't get in there. Now you can spread this out fairly thick, but no thicker, not too thick. You don't want to be raising up the next tray, right? So we just kind of spread this maybe a ½ inch thick. Now remember, if you're using meat broth, folks, please put your jars of broth in the fridge overnight and skim off any fat before you heat it up and add your rice. Fat, when it comes to dehydration, is the enemy. So we're going to set this at the fruit and vegetable setting. Why? Just because, well, let's do it at the nuts and seeds, and away we go. This could take, this could take anywhere from 8 to 12 hours depending on your humidity levels. Alrighty. Now, our rice is nice and dry. Some of it might be stuck together, but that doesn't mean it's not dry, okay? So, I can't find my funnel at the moment, and that's okay, because this parchment will do just as well. Now, you may want to break it up a bit so that it'll fit into your jar better. You're not breaking the rice, just the clumps. Now, don't ask me how long this will last on the shelf. Use your noodle. Depends on if you're vacuum sealing it or not. I don't plan on this jar lasting very long at all. Why? Because it's just too bloody handy. And that's how you make infused minute rice. And today we're going to dehydrate chicken. Canned chicken works the best. So that's what we're going to use. I think it's because it's been canned in its own broth. Maybe the reason. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so first things first, I have a strainer in a bowl because I'm going to catch all this wonderful broth and save it for another project. So now we're going to take our strained chicken and we're just going to rinse it off with hot water. I don't actually want it to, you know, come apart into shreds, which some of it will do. And you want to rinse it off with warm to hot water because that will run any fat off that may be clinging to the meat. Okay, like our hamburger, you know, chicken has to be cooked. I did some research. Poached chicken, roasted chicken, boiled chicken, none seems to work well for rehydrating than chicken that has been canned and canned in its own juice. So that's what we're going to use. I'm going to try and keep it from falling apart in strings. So we're going to dice it up fairly fine. What I've got here is my dehydrator tray, and on them I have the mesh screen. This is so that when it dries, little bits don't fall down. You don't want your chicken any thicker than that. I'm going to say 1/3 of an inch. All right, we're going to put this on the dehydrator at the highest temperature setting. And I would tell you the time, but I don't know. So my hamburger took like 6 hours. This could take 6 to 12 until it is dry and crispy. And here it is. After just a few hours, it's nice and dry and crispy. Awesome. I gotta jar this up. And there we go. A jar of dehydrated chicken. I'm going to show you how to make instant chicken and rice. Okay, so what I'm going to use to make these instant rice dinners for my son is dehydrated carrots, dehydrated sweet peppers, a few dehydrated hot peppers because he loves them, salt, pepper, parsley, the last few of my green dehydrated beans, of course dehydrated chicken, dried onions, and granulated garlic. Let's get started. So in here, in this little 1/4 cup measure, I'm going to put, now you season it however you like, folks, but I know my son's taste, and he'll probably add hot sauce to this. So I'm going to add about a tablespoon of flaked onion, teaspoon of granulated garlic. You may want to add more if you're using garlic powder. One's a little stronger than the other. Half a teaspoon of parsley, half a teaspoon of pepper, and a half a teaspoon of salt. Give or take 1/8 of a teaspoon. So that's our seasoning. I'm going to take one of our BPA-free plastic bags, and into this I'm going to add our seasoning and 1 1/4 cups of our instant chicken broth infused rice. Now you can, again, you can use whatever vegetables or mixed dehydrated vegetables you want, but pay attention to your measurements, okay? So right now we've got 1 1/4 cups of rice and the seasonings, which I don't count. We're going to add 1/4 cup of dehydrated carrots. So that's bringing our dry ingredients up to 1.5 cups. And then I'm going to add just about 1/2 cup of the dehydrated chicken. So now we're up to 2 cups of dehydrated stuff. I'm going to add some sweet peppers, a couple of hot peppers, and a couple of green beans because I'm almost out, but it'll give it some green. So I'm going to say, whoops, that is another 1/4 cup, maybe a little bit less, of vegetables. And that is it. I like to lay it down on the plastic like that so that it squeezes out the air. And I'm just going to roll this up. And on this little piece of paper it says, bring to a boil, because remember I've got 2 1/4 cups of dry plus seasonings. So bring to a boil 2 1/2 cups of water, add 1 tablespoon butter. Stir in package contents, remove from heat, cover, and let stand 10 minutes. Enjoy. And we're just going to take this and my handy dandy stapler, and voila, you have a highly nutritious instant meal for the bachelor or college student in your life. This is the Mrs. Wolfe from Our Half Acre Homestead saying you can have nutrition and instant food if you do it yourself.